Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a educational video, if you will, on how to care for, maintain, and even restore our HD fibers. I do want to let you know that all the wigs that I show during this video, as are all of my wigs that I have been purchased at Wig Studio One, and they'll all be linked down in the description box for you. Right now I'm wearing Columbia by Beltress in the color Mocha with Cream. This is one of the wigs that I restore during this video, and I'll explain everything that I did to it. During the video I'll show you how I restored Columbia, and she has gone through a little bit of a transformation here. The first thing I want to mention is that HD, also known as Heat Friendly HF, or in the Raquel Welch line, they are referred to as True to Life. These fibers need heat. They need a little bit of extra care. They're very fine, very wispy, very realistic. Some of us absolutely love the Heat Friendly fibers. Some do not like it. I'm not here to say that one is better than the other or anything like that. My only purpose for this video is to show, for those of you that do enjoy HD, or maybe you just purchased your first HD and you're not sure what to do, these are just some of the tips and tricks that I have come across during the time that I've been wearing wigs. I am by no means an expert. This is just little things that I have learned throughout my wig journey, if you will. And there are many others that may do things differently. I don't think there's any real right or wrong way. We just need to find what works the best for us. If you go down to the description box where it says show more, not only do I have them all the wigs there linked for you, as well as all the products, but I'm also going to leave timestamps. What I'm going to show in this video is what I do at the end of each wear with my HD fibers. I'll show you how I wash them, and using the bamboo silicone if I need to make them a little bit softer, how I steam my curly wigs. I don't use a curling iron, but rather how I steam them. And right there in the back, I have unfiltered that I'll be wearing at the end of the video, so you can see after I steam and everything else how it looks. And I'll show you how I restored Columbia. I'll be popping in periodically just to tell you what's coming up next. But as I said, you can find the timestamps listed down below in case you just want to watch a certain piece and then you want to come back and watch another, or watch it all the way through. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and let's get rolling. The first thing that I'm going to show you is what I do to my HD fibers right when I take them off every single day. At the end of each day, and before I wash any of my wigs, which I didn't show when I washed Unfiltered and Columbia, just to save on time, but I do the same thing with every one of my wigs. And when I take them off at the end of the day, this is Dalgona in British milk tea. So what I do at the end of each day is I lay it flat. I do this with my straight wigs, and I do it also with my curly HD fibers. I actually do this with all of my wigs, whether they're traditional synthetic or HD. And what I do is I take the John Renault HD detangler, and I just give it a few sprays right at the nape. Then I place her on a flat surface, and I start at the bottom, and I work my way up just to remove any tangles. And as you can see, this one, I just took it off and there weren't any tangles. I'll take my wide tooth comb. I use the ones from John Renault. You could use whatever you have handy. And I just run the comb through it and make sure there are no tangles. That's what I do with my straight HDs, my traditional synthetics, my curly HDs. Either before I wash them, I do that, or at the end of each day. My next step, it's at the end of the day, I take the Estetica
Revitalize and Shine, and I just spray a little bit and I scrunch it up a little bit. And now I'm ready to hang it up, ready for the following day. This is Cold Brew Chic in Brown Sugar Sweet Cream. And just so you could see that since this is a shorter one, I just wanted to show you, I do exactly the same thing. I'll take the detangler, add a little bit to the nape, start at the bottom, and work my way up. Then I go through the entire wig, comb her through. There are no tangles. Then I take the Revitalize and Shine and just spritz it a little bit. And now it's ready for the very next day. Once I detangle, if I'm going to wash my wig, then I don't add the Revitalize and Shine. What I'm going to do is just leave it and then go on and wash it as I do with my other wigs. If I need to add the conditioner, the bamboo conditioner, I do so at that point. And if I'm just hanging it up for the day, it doesn't need to be washed, that's when I use the Revitalize and Shine.
Pretty simple, don't you think? I think so, and it really only takes a couple of minutes. All right, next we're going to be looking at washing what I did with Unfiltered. Unfiltered is about a year or so old. I purchased Unfiltered right when it was first launched. I'll show you washing, how I wash, how I condition, and then I let her dry and steam, and how I use the net in order for the moisture not to weigh down the curls. So let's take a look at what's going on with Unfiltered.
The one that I have here is Unfiltered by Raquel Welch. My Unfiltered I purchased right when they were first launched. And so it's probably over a year old already. And as you can see, the ends are starting to look a bit matty. I've worn Unfiltered quite a bit. So this is the one that I am going to add. I'm just going to wash, and we're going to add some steam to it. I'm going to fill up the basin. I'm using the Hair You Wear shampoo because I want to finish this out. I also have another one of these. I like Hair You Wear and I like Aesthetica. Just adding a couple of drops. This is cool water. I'm just gonna move it around. Unfiltered doesn't have a hand-tied cap, therefore I'm going to soak it. I'm going to take a little bit of the shampoo and I'm just going to add it to my hand. I took some shampoo and I put it on my hand. I'm just going to very gently clean the lace front. And only about 10 minutes soaking, that will definitely do it. So 10 minutes has passed. Go ahead and rinse it out. I'm going to rinse it out on the cool running water. Now I'm going to fill the basin again so I could add some conditioner. Just a couple of drops. Swish it around. I'm going to drop it in. And I'll leave it in there for about 5 minutes. All right, time's up. Now I'll rinse the conditioner out under cold running water. I use these same steps, whether it's straight synthetic or heat-friendly fibers. The only ones that I don't soak are the hand-tied caps. As you notice, I'm not scrubbing. I'm just gently running my fingers through it. And I'm going to resist the temptation to wring it out. I'm just going to gently squeeze some of the water out. And I've got a towel ready right next to me. I placed the wig on the towel. And now I'm just going to close the towel up a bit, just to remove some of the excess water. I'm not going to deep condition Unfiltered because it really doesn't need it. I'm just going to place it on the, I like these wig stands to hang my wigs to dry because it provides ventilation. So I'll just hang her up there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a comb. I'm just going to use my fingers. Just using my hands to kind of comb her into place. I'm not very talented to redo those curls, so we're going to use steam. Now I'll just leave unfiltered on that stand until it's dried, so until tomorrow, and I'm just going to set her aside and we'll go on to the next one. What I'm going to be using is the John Renault steamer, and I like this one because of the nozzle, and I could really control where it's aiming. I purchased it at when I first started wearing wigs. So I'm just turning it on, and we're gonna wait until it heats up. I have the water level to full right here. And while that is heating up, let's take a look at unfiltered. Unfiltered has been washed, as you saw, and conditioned, but not a deep conditioning. But I think that you can appreciate how that it's not dried or anything like that. So even though I've worn unfiltered a lot, she's still in really good shape. I've probably worn unfiltered somewhere around 60 to 80 hours. Placed her on the wig stand and let her dry. What I'm going to do now is what I do with all of my heat-friendly fibers once I wash them. The other items that I have on hand is the net that's included with most of the wigs, and I have a small little claw clip. I don't know if you could hear it, that it's already steaming. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to aim the steam at the ends. The reason I do this, I could use a hot tool if I wanted, such as a curling iron, but I'm not good at restyling. So this is a lot easier for me, and it's a question that I've been asked so many times. Well, how are you going to apply heat if you're not using a curling iron? Well, this is what I do. I just apply steam. Keep your hands away from where the steam is aiming. Steam is coming out. So I'm just going to move the steamer back and forth and try to grab as much of the ends as I possibly can. And I continue to steam. You can crunch it a little bit. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the ends really well, because that's what these wigs need. And I scrunch it up a little bit, keep on steaming. You don't need to go real high on it because it's really the ends that dry out basically. I'll be wearing unfiltered at the end of the video so you could see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so all the ends have been steamed. The front has been steamed. I'm going to turn my steamer off. And now I'm going to come with my net, and I'm going to kind of scrunch it up a bit. I'm going to wrap the net around it. The reason I do this is so the curls are not weighted down from the steam. So I'm just getting all of the curls in my net. Okay, it's there. Now I'll take my little claw clip and just clip it up on top, and that'll hold it. Now I'll just wait until it all dries and she's good to go.
Pretty simple, right? And I'll be wearing unfiltered, as I said, at the end of the video so you could see the final results. The last portion of this video, I'm going to be showing you what I do with Columbia. As I mentioned in that portion, Columbia is pretty old. It's about, I would say, it was my third or my fourth wig that I purchased, and I've used it, I don't know, I want to say over 100 hours, maybe even over 200 hours in these 3 years. And she was already starting to show wear. I have in the past used the bamboo conditioner, and I have steamed, and it already started, the ends were really looking very dry despite everything that I had done. All right, let's take a look at what I did with Columbia in order to restore and make her look pretty. I think it looks really pretty, and it's very soft. I wish you could run your hands through it.
Okay, right now I'm filling up the sink, adding the shampoo, swishing it around. The wig we're going to be working with now is Columbia by Beltress. And Columbia is 3 years old. As you can see, the ends have already taken quite a beating. This is one of my first wigs, maybe my second or third wig. So she's still in pretty good shape, except for the end. So I think it's time to use some of the silicone mix, the bamboo. It's that one. And I get this at Amazon, and everything will be linked down below for you. I'm going to put her in, and I'm going to wash. I'm going to let her soak there for a bit. This time I'm going to let her soak, and after I rinse it in the cold water, I'm not going to add the conditioner because the conditioner is going to be the bamboo. So that's what we're going to do next. Columbia's been in there for about 15 minutes. And that's enough time. So now I'm going to let the water out. And we're going to rinse under cold running water. I'm going to take it out from the towel. I'm taking the, there we go, the bamboo. And I'm just going to apply it to the ends. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go anywhere near the cap. Now I'm taking a zip bag, a gallon bag. And I am going to place it in there. I'm going to seal it up and leave it in there for about 4 hours. I did leave a little bit of air in it, and I'm just going to set it aside. All right, so now we're at the next day. And Columbia, that's been in the bamboo conditioner. This is all ready to get out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewash her because I don't want any residue left on the fibers. Otherwise, they tend to look greasy in my opinion. So I've got cool water. I'm taking the shampoo, putting in a little bit, rolling it around. Now I'll take Columbia out of the Ziploc and I am going to rewash. And there's no need to recondition. I'm going to rinse all of that out, all of the shampoo, all of the bamboo, all of that is coming out now. Make sure that it's everything, all of the conditioner and all the shampoo and all of that is out. Now I'm going to take Columbia and I put her on the towel just because I want to remove the excess water. And I'm just going to press down. I've got my collapsible wig stand. I just really like these because they allow the air ventilation and the wig could dry evenly. I'm going to secure Columbia on there. And now with my fingers, not with a comb or a brush, I'm just going to separate the fibers as much as I can. And we'll take care of those dry ends tomorrow once it's dried completely. All right, that is Columbia. I'm going to bring up closer. Columbia is the one that I deep conditioned to show you how to do that. But as you can see, it's still pretty dried out and nothing much to it. So when we have a wig like this, instead of just, okay, so now what do I do? Dump it? No, you don't need to dump it. What we're going to do, and I must have left my shears in Florida because I can't get my hands on them. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to snip a little bit of the ends because what I'm going to basically end up doing is using a flat iron and just making her a straight wig. So I'm just cutting off a little bit of the very dry ends, not much, just about that much, because I really don't want it that short. So I'm just going to go all the way around and I'm just going to snip the rest of the wig. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a flat iron and you'll see what a difference it makes. When I come back, I'm going to do this because otherwise it'll be like watching paint dry.
All right, now we're going to use the flat iron, and I don't know if the camera is going to be picking it up. Columbia looks a lot better. There are no more crunchy edges, ends on it, not at all. I'm going to, because I'm not a hairstylist, I'm going to cut a couple of little pieces that I missed real life, right? All right, if I wanted to leave Columbia this way, it'd be fine. Actually, I'm kind of wanting to leave her like this because I think it looks really pretty, and I don't think there's a need for a flat iron at all, or even steaming. I mean, just by cutting off those little bits of edges. What I am going to do is I'm going to take some Simply Stylin. This is how I do it every time I use Simply Stylin. I just spray like 2 spritz on my hand, and I rub my hands together, and then I just do just on the ends, not through the entire wig. I feel it gives it a kind of like a greasy look, if you will. I think that's enough. Now, if you get to this stage and you feel, all right, I think I want to flat iron it, just remember that once you flat iron it, after you wash it, it's going to continue to be straight, but you can add the curls back in. I just think it looks really pretty. Now, because I barely have any of the Simply Stylin on my hands, now I could just go. I haven't run a comb through it. I don't run a comb through any of my curly wigs unless I'm going to use the flat iron. If I were to use the flat iron or the curling iron on it, then what I would do is keep it between 280 and 320. That's just me because I don't want to fry the wig. But you can go as high as 350. My suggestion is it's better to start lower and work your way up. And the way you would use the flat iron is the same way we do with bio hair. I'm going to eliminate. I think it looks amazing for a 3-year-old wig. And it seems like maybe I did a lot of care to it, but in actuality I didn't. I mean, wash, condition, do the bamboo every so often, like maybe during every other wash, if you will. And when I take them off, use the detangling spray at the nape, use some Revitalize and Shine, Simply Stylin every so often. So for a wig that has been worn so much, I think it's looking really good. I really had thought about using the flat iron on it, and I think I'll do that maybe on a next time, but I like these kind of beachy waves, messy look. It's always a good idea before you start changing the style completely to take a look at it, because I was really thinking, all right, I need to turn off my flat iron. I really thought that I was going to need to flat iron it, and that was my intention when I first came on here. But once it dried and just cut that little bit off, and I took a look at the ends, I think Columbia is restored and good for a lot of new wear. This could be my running around wig, so that's something to keep in mind. And I still have a little bit of residue on my hands of the Simply Stylin, so all I'm doing is just going around with it. The other thing I could do now, if I wanted to, I could add some steam, as I did with Unfiltered. I could do that, but I don't think it even needs it. I think that between the bamboo and the cutting, I think it turned out really, really good. All right. That's it for Columbia. Okay, that wasn't too bad, was it? I had, as I said in this previous part, I was going to use a flat iron. And once I trimmed off that little bit of hair, got her on the wig, on the canvas wig stand, and I started feeling it, I saw, okay, I don't need to straighten it out yet. At that point, if you want to use your curling iron or you want to use your flat iron, you can certainly do that. And I think that we all pretty much know how to use a flat iron or how to use a curling iron. But if you ever want me to show you, I'll be more than happy to do so. Before putting on unfiltered, what I do want to show you, if you notice at the beginning when I started, before I washed, it looked pretty dried, or it just needed you can really tell that it needed the steam. And I haven't done anything just yet except for the steaming. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some Simply Stylin, just like I did with Columbia, just 2 spritz in my hand, and I'm just going to run it just through the ends. Not a lot. I know that there are others that spray it all over the wig. I never do that because I don't like the greasy look. You do whatever works best for you. Because I have so little on my hands, now I could just run my fingers through it. I personally do not care for the curls on myself. The most curls I really like are the beachy waves. Unfiltered has lost some of the beachy waves. I'm going to get one of those crimper things, I think. But to me, it's fine just the way it is. Okay, now I'm going to put it on. All right, I'm back. And here is unfiltered after washing, conditioning, just regular conditioner, adding some steam and a little bit of Simply Stylin, and that's all I did. I really don't think it's a matter of having so many wigs and having them on rotation and all of that. I think a lot of it has to do with just really taking care of them and maintaining, doing the occasional bamboo, using the Simply Stylin, detangling after at the end of the day, using some Revitalize and Shine. And you might very well have some products that you use that I don't know about, so please leave them down in the comments so we could all learn from each other. Unfiltered has gotten a lot of wear. Therefore, I think it has a lot to do with how we take care of them. The other thing is, unfiltered is fairly short, if you will. So she's off my shoulders, not rubbing against anything. But nevertheless, I think it looks really good. I think there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with unfiltered. I think it looks beautiful. I think I can still wear it anywhere I want. You let me know. Let me know what you think on how unfiltered turned out and how Columbia turned out. Are these some things that you think that you could incorporate into your routines, or do you think that it's just too much work and you'd rather not even deal with it? I would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.